So proud for, for the people.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How are you doing? You're in Vegas, right?
No, I'm in Honolulu now.
Uh,
Me and Alex will be back in Vegas in a week or so. But it's been crazy the
uh,
last few weeks, so had to stay home.
I've
Haven't
been,
traveled. It's probably the longest time I've been not traveling. It's like about a month. Yeah, about a month.
yeah. I could be home though. Yeah, Vegas would be crazy right now.
Oh
The
yeah,
Super Bowl.
Super
No
Bowl.
thanks.
Yep,
I like it where
yep,
it's quiet and where it's dark, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
That's just too much
Well,
going on.
yeah. Yeah, Vegas is there's everything's like this. They have something every month, so I'm always trying to travel around it.
Yeah. That's uh not my thing. I'm from Tahoe. And I used to, when I moved, I was 19, turned 20. And then when I turned 21, I used to deal cards. And man, I just was right in the midst of the casino. And it was a lot of fun at 21. But now it's like going into a casino is just nothing. I don't enjoy that at all.
Yeah.
So, but a good life experience. Yeah.
Well, hopefully when the office is up and running, anyone in Vegas or that's nearby that wants to come down, we're gonna have a little office opening over there. So, all
Oh, how
right.
fun. How fun.
I think Keiko is running a little behind.
Hey, so what is it? Noon over? Oh, no, it's noon in Vegas, right?
In Vegas, it's noon. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours ahead. For a while, I was thinking, God, why do these guys get up at like 7 in the morning to do this meeting with us? 8 in the morning. But
No,
no, it goes the
no,
opposite
it's
way. I
not too
should
bad.
know this.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. We'll give a few more minutes, let people trickle in. 1 second, guys. Yeah. Looks like we got a small room today. How you doing, Ben?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Doing good. Yeah. Yeah. Happy to be here. Been just had conflicts the last couple of weeks, so
Yeah.
feel like it's been a while.
Oh yeah. It's oh man, for us it's been crazy too. And actually I just last night I was texting Layla because I was like, man, I'm so tired. Like, why am I so tired? Like I'm congested and stuff. And um then I just hit me last night. I was like, wow, we're actually still going through it, but we're coming towards the tail end. But we're in the middle of like 10 escrows. We have like 10 houses, so we're buying two, we're refinancing four of them, and we're selling four. We're in the process of selling four. So I was getting like DocuSigns left and right. I was like, what am I signing? I was getting lost in all of it.
Trying to keep track of
So
it.
yeah, and you just, how you eat an elephant, it's just one bite at a time, right? So my just little by little, and then but coming out the end of it, I'm like, oh man, I'm exhausted. Like, why am I so tired? And that's why I had to go back like, wow, we had a lot going on. It's been a crazy start to the new year, but all true blessings. You
It's the kind of problem you want to have.
yeah, yeah. And it seems to all come down at once, Oh, that's how real estate
It
is. It
always
seems.
does. It always does.
Yeah.
You think you're just chugging along and you're like, why aren't things happening? And then everything just happens at the same time.
Yep. Yep. Well, we can just jump into it since it seems like maybe people start trickling in, and I think Kikoa might be running late today. But any leads, needs, good deeds, and I'll go last because I think I have a couple. needs. Anybody need anything? Got anything? Oh, I see Kevin's on. Oh, Kevin, I seen you at the meetup. I wasn't able to say hi, but miss you, bro. Well, if you guys got anything, just leave it in the chat. I have we got something. We're looking right now for I guess you could call it assistant for Layla. Because things are getting kind of crazy. And we can definitely use someone's help. And anyone that comes into our company, I always say like maybe one day I'll do a call where we just talk about maybe our company, our culture, what we do, and some of the principles that we operate on. But for right now we're looking for an assistant for Layla. And you guys feel that? I think we're having an earthquake right now.
I just
Yeah.
felt that too. And my lanai's moving, and I'm going, "Whoa, my dog's not scratching. She's not any place to be found." I go, "Ah." So you felt it too? Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm not. Oh, wow, kind of cool.
Yeah. That was weird. Anyways, looking for an assistant for Layla. Um, and when we bring people into our company, like we started to, as we built it out, we started to realize, that we're playing a totally different game, and the fact that we're aware of it, I think makes us even more dangerous, and what that is that anyone who signs up to kind of be on our team, right, is you're signing up for an opportunity, not a job, and one, because we're kind of still a startup company. We're still a small company, even though we're competing at a high level. And so like all hands on deck, so everyone that comes in is like a founding kind of member of the company. And that means everyone's gotta be there for more than just a job. Like sometimes you have to take on put a different hats on. And sometimes it's a grind. Sometimes you have to sacrifice more than, a normal employee would. But I say in return, what we get out of, all collectively pursuing the same kind of goal with the right principles is you come out the other end so much more powerful. We learn we're intentional about learning the intangibles here, where we focus on developing discipline and consistency, consideration, all of the intangibles, because we start to realize that that's really the secrets to success in life and business. It's not the tangible stuff. If it was the tangible things that can be easily taught, then most people, it'd be easy, right? But that's why it's hard, is because success lies in the intangibles. And so we're intentional about finding that here, so even as a role as possibly an assistant, like that role can, lead to a lot of things, for one. And two, I think working alongside other people here who are high performers with the same mission is truly life-changing. It's changed my life, so if you guys know anybody who would be a good fit, preferably here in Hawaii, then please let us know, because we're definitely looking for somebody. And the first place you reach out is just to our friends, because we already like spending time with, and I feel like that's the easiest way. So thank you, guys. Okay, cool. You have any leads, needs, or good deeds?
I need coffee. We get coffee. No, we're good. We went to
Like the
Bruno
Uber to you.
Mars. You guys ever been to Bruno Mars concert? We went here in Vegas. I took my son. I'm so tired and so hungover, but not from alcohol, just from the fact that we were up late
Oh, how was it? How was it in the Sphere?
Oh my gosh. Actually, you know what was really funny? And super short story. We went to the Sphere. We bought tickets because it was at the Sphere. We got to the Sphere and they're like, no, U2 is here. U2. Yeah, U2. It's a band. Like I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what,
yeah.
but anyways, we were at the wrong location, bro. So we had
Oh,
to quickly Uber over to MGM, which is the concert was at MGM, which was awesome. But the concert itself was, I mean, it was awesome. Yeah, I want to take everybody else to go, but the next time he's in concert is in March in Bangkok, Thailand.
oh.
Where did I go?
Wow, my
It's all good.
passport.
I'm good.
I haven't even renewed my passport.
Oh, gotta get
Yeah,
the
I gotta get
passport.
that done.
Time to go.
Any business or real estate leads, needs, or good deeds, sir?
Let's see. For us, I mean, we just
Bro,
have a
I was
lot of.
just okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry, before you go on, I was just saying how proud I am of ourselves because we're coming out of like a gnarly season. Like we had here in Hawaii two purchases, 4 refis, and 4 sales. So we had 10 escrows going on at the same time. So I don't know if you know that, Okay, come on. I didn't stop to think about it. It just hit me last night while I'm so tired. So I was telling everybody earlier before you came on.
Well, we actually got 4 houses sold too of ours that we own. So that's exciting. Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody else got anything going on?
What about the Maui ladies?
Hey,
Yeah, I do not know where those girls are today. I met with Chantel the other day and it was a good meeting. And just she was helping me with some computer work. That's one of my challenges is working with on the computer. And but yeah, I don't know where the girls are today. I have no idea.
They're
Kind of
probably
missing
busy
them.
closing deals.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're awesome.
right. Hey, I just alert on my phone. That was an earthquake.
Oh, it
It
was,
said a
huh?
significant. It was an earthquake. So I
Yeah.
just thought I would share that. Rocking and rolling.
But
That was
you're on
so
Maui,
strange.
right, Tammy? Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
so I wonder if
So-
there's any tsunami alert because of the earthquake.
Yeah. I think usually if it's coming from us, it's not too big, yeah. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I have no idea, but it said all I got was a little flash on my phone, like a warning, and it said significant earthquake. So I have no
Yeah,
idea where it's.
I definitely felt that one though. But
Yeah, 2 magnitude says Sam.
Sam,
2.3. Oh, that's not too big. 2.3.
No,
one
so it might
time.
be really close.
Uh,
Anybody doing
well,
any exciting
Anyway,
deals?
I signed escrow paperwork yesterday with my notary, which you guys, I know you
yeah,
guys like
yeah.
do something. I think that's so awesome. I'm so proud to do this one.
That's a big one. I've never done anything like what you're doing.
You know, Corey, this build is going to be so simple. I mean, there's so much there, of course, there's so much to a build, but it's a simple build and it's not like plumbing or electrical or it's, not that type of a build, but it's a labor of love.
Mhm.
I'll say that over because
Stumbled across a nice niche that yeah, a much needed one. So
yeah. Well, my
yeah,
experience and background, 3 years at UPS at the
right.
customer counter. It's
Huh. Yeah.
it's really helped me out a lot to be able to do this. I don't think I would be able to do it without that experience.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
A labor
Well,
of love for the people.
Sometimes the labor of love is the most rewarding.
yeah.
I'm
It is
reading
rewarding.
Go Giver, and that's when I read that, it's like, wow, this is something that I'm doing, and I'm so grateful to have the gift of giving. I think
Yeah.
if the Lahaina fire, Lahaina and the fires here on Maui taught me anything, it was giving back was the greatest reward, because we had some dear friends of ours that stayed with us. Jesslyn was actually born at the same time my daughter was, when we were friends with her parents before the kids were ever born. And they came and stayed with her and her girlfriend and their dogs and Sierra's mom. And they spent quite a while with us, and they lost everything, 2 homes, 2 businesses. And they were just to see how heartfelt and hurtful that the tragedy and the devastation that they experienced. And I mean, it felt so good to just say, if there's anything in my home you want, if I can share anything with you, just take whatever you want, use any lotions, use anything. I mean, it just felt so good to give. That was the greatest reward. And I felt horrible for them, but they're doing really good now. So, and they were positive people. So they kind of like picked themselves up and said, well, we have to go forward with this. And, I'm just grateful that they never left the island, but just that feeling of giving is the best.
Yeah. Gratitude is what I got through that. It's just wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How's everything going now with Lahaina? Is it FEMA has come in now and basically taken over?
Yes, and they're trying to do the cleanup, and there's big fights about where they're putting the dumping of all the hazardous waste, and they're actually putting it up by Olo. They have a big canyon that they cleared out, and they covered it with plastic, and they're taking truckloads of the remains and dumping them and dumping it up there. They plan on moving it again, but just one step at a time, one day at a time. I think it's going to be a very long time before this actually all gets said and done. But FEMA has people housed, and what I'm seeing is that people are staying in the hotels much longer than it's necessary. I mean, a lot of people from the fires up country are still in hotels and being supported for hotels. And they keep saying, well, the government has to go in and clean up my property and has to go in and cut down trees and has to go in, and my house got smoke damage. And I don't think that that's a part of the cleanup for the government. But and I don't want to say I'm watching people take advantage of it. But in my own way, I kind of feel like people are taking advantage of that,
Yeah. It's sad that
that's just my
tough situation, there's somebody out there scheming a way to take advantage of people or get free money. I mean, it's just, even through COVID, while people were dying like crazy, there were people out creating scams to get more government funding, which is so sad, but
it is.
keep us
But,
updated, for yourself and Tay and those that are on the island. If there's something more that we could all be doing together, I think that Keiko Capital has taken, an aggressive initial stance to try to help as much as possible. But then now it's like, we're all just kind of waiting to see what can be done.
Yeah.
They just gave a
that's
6-month update yesterday. I can't remember all the numbers like off the top of my head, but they were throwing around like how much money they received for housing and how much they're going to be. I think by March 1st, there's still going to be some people left in hotels, the ones that can stay in hotels. And then by July 1st, they want everybody out of the hotels and put into a unit. But there's still a need.
So when they say put into a unit, it means that they're going to put people into units?
They're gonna, they just want somebody, they want them in like leases or secured housing, whether that's short-term rentals turned into long-term or built units. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they have a build in Kahului across from the church, the big church that housed everybody as a shelter. And they have several like tiny homes. I want to say 20, 25 tiny homes that they're putting people into, which has been nice to see that, little build in an old cane field. So, and it's right
That's put
smack
on
in
pause
town.
because they have problems with getting permits and stuff still.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
I didn't.
yeah, it's not being lived in right now, but that's something that we pray for at prayer when we go, is to get those people that are in the county to move how they need to move. And yeah, it's a
Oh, that's
lot.
something.
It's a lot of county hold up.
So is there something practical that, that is a need that we can all do or try to rally together, or is it just a wait and hold game right now?
I just got back on the pulse of it, like when I went to that update, because I still don't know where the need is either. I just see where all the problems and the fires are coming up with like housing and people getting evicted. But yeah, it's still a mess. I'll let you guys know if there's something that we as investors can do, or yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I've been hearing that there's more and more people who are trying to figure out what to do with their properties because they were underinsured, and so they're short. And so now it's like, they need to sell out of their land. So, I mean, it's so sad, right? Because now they can't rebuild, but it means investors like us, not that we want to take advantage of an opportunity, but maybe we try hard to be a part of the rebuild somehow. And
Yeah, Tadeva knows more about this, but there's a land trust that they actually put together.
oh, okay. That's good.
Ted, you can explain that.
I barely know, maybe I know more than you, I don't know, but I don't know a lot of details. I have tried reaching out to our friends who are way more involved to maybe share information that they can share. But anyway, basically a land trust was created so that any one of the Lahaina, like the regular residences, I don't think like the 4 million and up residences, like the up to 1 million, maybe up to 2 million residences that everybody was living in, the multi-generational homes, that the land trust would come in and buy it from them, and they can only sell it to locals or something like that. So it is because there are families who just simply do not have a choice. They have to sell, and or they have to move away from Lahaina, Maui, the state. And they don't want, the trust was created so that these guys that just don't have any other choice can sell it, make money, and go, start over somewhere else. But that the land remains in Hawaii household, I guess, Hawaiian households or local households. I'm not too sure how they're getting away with, picking and choosing who they'll sell it to. I don't know. But that land trust was created, and it's actually been a practice of Lahaina because of all of the outsiders coming in to buy. Several land trusts were created, but one was created specifically for fire recovery. And yeah, that's so I don't know the details of like what are they giving them market value, and then how are they going to resell it and pick and choose who they're going to resell it to. What if nobody wants to buy the land? How are they coming up with all of this? So, but yeah, I thought that was a good solution. It's not the best, but that was a good solution for, the goal of keeping these properties in local hands, I guess, is my thinking there.
Is there a way we can get in touch with the person with the land trust to just let them know that we have a network of investors that may be interested, so we can see if we can help rebuild?
I'm gonna reach out right now. Let's talk about the land trust for Lahaina. Yeah,
The challenge is that if we have, you know, with local people rebuilding Lahaina, it's going to be Lahaina. If it gets all sold
Yes.
to like a mainland company that's a developer, it's going to look like Santa Monica. You know, so
In Venice Beach, yeah.
yeah, Venice Beach, you know, and that's not bad, but I mean, it does create a difference, right? If it's local people behind the engineering and the rebuilding and the, you know, trying to keep local flavors, local feels, local vibes, you know, as opposed to this
Mhm.
commercialized boardwalk with, you know, all the commercialized
The
retail
yachts and
Prada
luxury
and all that
stores.
kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's like, you know, that's not what we had in Lahaina before. I mean, Lahaina was family owned and operated, right? So
Yep,
and
for
maybe
the
worth
most
it.
part,
I
for
mean,
sure.
not that, I mean, I know you're super busy, Tay, but if you get some information, we can just all work together and maybe all of us keep our ears open to just see,
Yes.
you know, who do we know, what conversations are going on, to just slide in, to just say, hey, there's a whole group of Hawaii investors that would love to build 1 or 2 houses at a time, help be a part of downtown. And if there's a committee that they form kind of for the vision of Lahaina in the future, I think we should try to get on that committee.
I agree. I
Yeah.
want to be part of it. I just, yeah, I want someone with our like resources to at least have eyes and ears on it. And, you know, if they would allow, like, I don't know if they're allowing local investors. Like, I'm not too sure what they're, that's what I was trying to find out, but I couldn't get in on a call with anyone that had information.
Yeah, my sense is
But
I
yeah,
get that if we don't try to insert ourselves, it, you know, then they're going to create these groups and things will get sold. And so hopefully it's local people that are in charge of making those decisions. And even that land trust, it's a great idea, but what if it's a mainland developer that's behind that trust? Then it's like
yeah,
Maui's
no,
giving away all the
they're not
land
gonna
to,
do that.
right? So you just don't know
Yeah.
these days, right? Everyone's
Yeah.
hiding behind all these LLCs and corporations and such. So
Totally.
that was good. Good
Okay,
stuff.
cool.
Yay.
Perfect.
Hey,
Thank you, guys.
Roderick just joined. Yeah, thanks, Tay. That was good. Good stuff.
Pickle, you're in Vegas right now.
I am.
Have you bumped into a bunch
Bruno
of
Mars.
people from Maui? Or
Oh yeah, there's so many people that are that have moved from
from
Maui.
Lahaina?
Yeah. I mean, they're displaced, right? I'm crazy story is my landscaper hired a guy. He started doing our yard, and I was like, hey, this looks like a local guy. Go out there. He's from Lahaina. They had to
Because of
leave
the
Lahaina
fires.
because they just couldn't afford to stay. So they moved with mainland family or friends, which I think is the story. And then they're just taking up jobs wherever they can because they just got to make money. They lost everything, right? So, I mean, it's
Mhm.
kind of sad when you really hear all the stories because the news kind of dropped it, right? With, oh, tragedy, fire, lots of coverage. And then now all these poor lives are still trying to rebuild.
You know why it's a big loss? It's like it's a big loss is like because once you lose that land, it's already hard enough to keep it, right? For local people to keep up with the costs of living here. But once you lose that, like that land might have been multi-generational, passed down, right? Like it's hard to get that type of real estate, you know, and it costs a lot of money, and it's very competitive, you know, market in Lahaina, and so if when you lose it, it's hard to get it back, you know, and that's the tragedy. So it's not so much that like yeah they've lost their wealth, right? Yeah, so but like how do we well I guess yeah that's just the tragedy of it. So what do we because I this has been on my mind because and perhaps maybe this is another call we can do is on like raising capital, you know, and how I guess how I go about it. And I learned a lot from the Go Giver Sell More, you know, and it's like when you raise capital, I feel that like it should never sound like you're selling somebody to invest with you. You know, you shouldn't be selling yourself, shouldn't be selling the opportunity or your business. Like, you know, like in the Go Giver Sell More, they say, that the best closers are the ones who don't sell, right? And so what does that mean, right? Well, you have to give value, give something first. Maybe it's give consideration, or, you know, but when I raise capital, I give, I feel I just give education. You're educating somebody, you know, and why does it make sense to invest in real estate? And when I'm doing that, like I start to realize like this is the problem, is financial education is the problem, you know, for local people, or, and I always say local people, it's not just people of Hawaii, it's people of, you know, America. We're not taught these strategies, you know, we're not taught about money. So, you know, when I think about the people of Lahaina, it's like, okay, how do we get them back? You know, how do we get their property back, or how do we help people afford? Because it is, I mean, it's kind of bittersweet because like we're moving into Vegas more and more and embedding more and more into that market. It just feels like home because there's so many Hawaii people. But it's also kind of sad too, because you know, like a lot of them are there not by choice, you know. And then I'm just, it makes me sad that, you know, the reason is because they're getting priced out of paradise. And like that term to me now is just kind of, every time I hear it, it's just, I don't know. It's almost like I don't like that term anymore, because I know the problem, and the problem is education. You know, if they knew what we knew, right, and what we've been taught, and what we've invested to learn, then I don't think people would be so quick to give up their homes here and move away and just blame priced out of paradise. You know, if we understood that the problem is actually just supply and demand, you know, and it's not politicians, it's not realtors, developers, investors, right? We're not the problem. Um, Politicians and bad actors can influence the market, but they don't control the market, right? So the root of the problem is supply and demand. If we can get local people to understand that, then perhaps there will be less maybe victim mentality, maybe less finger pointing so quickly, and more ownership. And we take ownership and we go and learn. You know, we learn about good debt versus bad debt. We learn about assets versus liabilities and how money works, right? And we hui up our resources, and then we will, you know, buy our land back. You know, what I don't like is like the local people who are just have so much opinions and they're so loud, right? And like it's like, well, what are you doing? You know, all you're doing is pointing fingers, causing chaos, causing more chaos. We're the solution here. We can be the solution to the problem. And that's being an extra voice in educating out there. You know, like as much as we want to blame somebody, you know, we got no one to blame but ourselves. You know, the problem is supply and demand. We live on an island, and so there's limited real estate, limited supply, and we have extraordinary demand. We have demand from all nations: China, Korea, Japan, Australia, Canada. Everybody wants a little piece of Hawaii, right? And what happens when you have low supply, high demand? Prices go up. So that's just bound to happen for us, right? So the problem, or the solution, is just educating. And I think if we talk about this more, then perhaps to bring it all the way back, perhaps, you know, the displacement in Lahaina, as tragic as it is, it's not over. You know, we can make our way back and buy our land back. And, you know, instead of pointing fingers on the sideline, like you guys want your land back, right? The local people, right? Then why don't you guys learn like what we've all here taken the time and invested the money to learn, and go buy your land back? You know, that, so that's what we gotta do. That's my feelings. Okay, here, rant, pal. But
Let's
it
think
breaks
about
my
what
heart,
you
you
said.
know?
One of my favorite stories is Auntie Down the Road.
Yeah.
Just, I
Yeah.
love that story much, and I think about that so often, and it's just made a big impression on me.
You
And
know,
if you
maybe
want to
we'll do
share,
that. Maybe I'll do it again. We'll do a raising capital call again, and I'll bust out the slides. You know what? It's good reps for me too. You know, one day I know I'm gonna be speaking a little louder on this. You know, 'cause I just can't sit back with the knowledge that I have, you know, and just win for myself, right? And for the people around me. if I want greatness, then yeah, even though I'm an introvert, like I think that day is coming for me. So it's good reps anyways, you know. Yeah, we'll do that.
You're right, Corey. It all starts with education. So I
Thanks, Rob.
agree it's going to be very difficult for them to get their land back and, you know, how it was. But you have to get educated. And I wanted to share with you guys the thing that I'm learning right now. Have you guys heard of this book right here? It's called The Art of Passing the Buck. I think I mentioned
Never
it
heard
to
of
you
it.
guys before. Have you seen this?
Oh.
This is how like the Rothschilds and the Clintons are able to
Yeah.
acquire assets and keep it. They're all those powerful families are doing this. Bottom line. And I got a guy now that's able to set these up, and like he acts as a trustee. So they can actually discharge debt, they can get loans, they can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm just starting to learn. So imagine if you learned this in high school, how different the world would be. Like,
Exactly.
for what it's worth. How you guys doing?
Exactly. Great, bro. Is that the one that's $800 on Amazon right now?
Volume 2 is $800. This one's only $50.
Okay.
Wow,
And it just
$800?
explains.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
it's legit, dude. The guys that wrote the book got sued by the Department of Justice. They tried to get the book banned, and they tried to, you know, give him jail time, but they fought in court and won. So the book's still alive, the website's still alive, but the government does not want you to know this information. I mean, bottom line.
Wow. I thought I ordered it, so I'm gonna double check to make sure that went through.
Yeah,
It's
for
funny.
sure.
I just ordered it and got
Oh,
it.
Hey, great.
nice.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
You're a
there's
great
a
pop.
there's a YouTube video with the couple that wrote the book, and they explain their fight with the Department of Justice and like how it all went down and how the book works. It's crazy.
Oh, love it. I'm gonna check that out.
But well, cool. Yeah, I was just checking in with you guys, seeing how you're doing. Kikoa, thank you so much for the emails. I've been looking at your deals, and we're getting close. I didn't realize you had so many deals coming across your desk. That's awesome.
This is what we do every day. Got a team does nothing but scour around for deals, man. Only in those markets though. We only like the markets where we want to go visit. So that's Arizona, Texas, Vegas, and Washington right now. Soon
Oh, it's
Florida.
great.
We'll see. Florida insurance is a little high for me, so I'm not loving it in the underwriting.
Right.
As you know, as you well know.
Yeah.
As I know. So Karn and I set a goal to buy a 100 unit apartment complex before the end of the year.
Ooh,
So
love it.
Are you going to do it yourself, or do you want to syndicate it?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have all the money. We'll have to raise capital from all you guys and friends and family, but I need to
Well, if you
find
want-
the deal.
If you want to syndicate, Rod, Corey and I are in for sure. We'll help you, since that's the specialty of Team Keikoa is the syndication stuff.
Awesome. And I called the David Lindahl guys. They the first phone call, they wanted $30,000 to teach me, and I was like, oh man, I
On the
don't
first-
know if that's right for me. And so the
No.
second phone call, they brought it down to $8,000, but that's group coaching. And I'm like, wait a minute. What if I just talk to Corey and Kikoa and set up a marketing plan and use that money to just mail letters and postcards and phone calls?
Hell
you-
yeah.
You guys recommend that?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I don't like those high ticket, sales. Sounds like they changed their operation around, which is disappointing. But it's hard
Yeah.
to scale and run a big business and take care of a lot of people without, hitting those kind of choices along the way to, pivot business, but because it used to be a more family run kind of, but now it seems that's kind of like hard sales, trying to sell you a $30,000 ticket on the first call.
They know it works.
Well, the other piece, Rodney, keep in mind the other piece for some of those guys, not all of them, and I won't say specifics, but some of them, you bring them the deal to help you, to mentor you, and they actually go and take the deal because you've given them the address, you've given them the data, and they're like, this is great. So they go take the deal away, and then they move you to a finder's fee as opposed to a partner. So
they already mentioned that first phone call. Yeah, we'll help you. We'll partner. Blah blah blah. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna give away the secret. The secret is like the training. Okay, it's a funnel too, right? It's a business.
Yeah.
So when you go into the training, you go to the free course, then you go to pay the $500. You're being upsold, okay, and you're being pushed through the funnel. And look, I'm not against it because if it's done correctly, I feel then it's powerful for the right people, okay. But the people, the guys who are selling on stage and getting, for like almost kind of they some of them know NLP, neuro linguistic programming, and they know how to persuade. Like they're experts. That's why they pay them a lot of money to be on stage. Okay, so they know how to pick at your emotions. Okay, it's the same formula. It's a funnel, right? And everyone who comes into the funnel, it's hard to get out. And then they sell you the next program. Now, the education sometimes can be great. Like Fortune Builders had a great program. I really love their systems.
It all worked.
Yeah, and it's great if you understand what it is. Most people don't understand what it is. It's a business, it's a funnel, right? They're selling education. And so when you get to the end of the funnel, you get dropped the big price tag. And it's the guys who I feel who encourage, people going into debt and whipping out their credit cards to take the course. Like I'm against those guys. Those guys are the enemy. Like if you're that strapped that you can't invest in your education, then go earn some more cash, and build the piggy bank. That's how I feel. That's a safer route. But anyways, like it is a funnel for just, the sales up front, but it's also deal flow, it's also money flow, private, for cash and partnerships. And it's actually great. It's the go-giver way, except you're charging for it, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a capitalist, so there's nothing wrong with a good business as long as it's being run well and the product is good, the service is great, all that, just like any other business, then I'm for it, So
yeah, if it helps people, that's legit. But my question is, which website do I use to skip trace LLCs and get my personalized letter in the hands of the true owner of this 200-unit apartment building?
So I think we use Best Skip Tracer is one website.
We use
Leila?
Best Skip Tracer, but also I can get you another one that I think will also filter out whether or not it's like phone numbers and stuff, and whether or not it's mobile versus landline.
Leila, does that do LLCs?
Yeah. Let me Cheyenne mentioned one, so let me find out which one she was recommending for that.
And that was Best Skip Trace?
No, so we use Best Skip Trace, but there's another one that supposedly does more.
So Rodney, I use CoStar. CoStar will run you $1,500 to $2,000 a month. But CoStar actually segregated all into multifamilies by geography, by city, and it's worked really well for us. I mean, if you want good data, you got to pay for it. But
CoStar is the top, right? In that space.
Best of the best. And Rodney, if you're really serious this year, then I can add you to our account and you can just reimburse us. It's cheaper to be a member under somebody else. I think it's like, I don't know, $1,200, $1,500. It's expensive, but I mean, if you think about it, you spend 25 grand a year, you only need to get one deal and you've more than made up for it. So it's not It's not a big thing. And if you're serious, Rodney, this year, we'll help you.
I'm very
Yeah,
serious.
let's do this.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're really serious about taking action this year, like, do you
Yes.
need to do it for tax purposes?
Well, I mean, always, but that's our big, hairy goal is a minimum of like 75 units before the end of the year. So targeting that like just under 100 unit probably, so I can still have on-site managers, but I'm totally open, bro. I know you had mentioned you like 300 units and up, correct?
Yeah, but I wouldn't start there, dude. Yeah, 100%.
That's a
Start with the
different
50, start with the 75. We're about to
Yeah.
do one. There's a 51 unit, I think, in Spokane, Washington, near the university that we really like. That went out on the Deal Blast as well, but I think we're gonna just take it down ourselves. But
wow.
then we could bring some folks in. So we always send all our stuff out, and then if we really like it, we'll just bring people together. But yeah, no, if you want 100, if you're really motivated, you don't have to pay for the course, or you don't have to pay for our course. I'll help you. Just put your $15,000 in escrow. And if you do the action, I'll give you my time. If you don't put the action in, then we donate the 15,000 at the end of the year to Lahaina. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Sounds fair. So
Deal.
Real
my
quick,
question
Roger.
is, yeah.
It's called Data Zap, and it'll scrub out landlines and voice VoIPs.
God.
Voiceovers. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, check them out, and then check out CoStar, Rodney. And if you really like CoStar, then we can probably just add you as an additional user under our account. Because if you're going to be serious, we'll get you on a plan, but that will require 2 to 3 hours a day of running through CoStars, finding locations, calling. So we have a team member that does that every day for 8 hours a day. But we're on certain targets. And so actually you probably met him. Remember Tyler? Did you get over jump on a call when Tyler ran some deals with us?
Yeah.
I think so.
Super cool guy. But yeah, no, it's gonna be, if you're gonna buy something, now's the time to buy it while the interest rates are still fluctuating and people are still sitting out. Had Powell mentioned that he was gonna reduce rates, he didn't say anything, so that's why people aren't moving as quick anymore. But had he even inclinated, I think, the thought of, yeah, we're gonna move forward to a drop, then I mean, we would see people coming out of the woodworks. So by you jumping in early, and that's why we're so active right now in sourcing deals, is because we're trying to get our clients out there in front, get the offers in now. Because if you can lock up a deal now and the rates drop, then you're going to have instant appreciation just because of the fact that the market started to heat up.
Gotcha.
Super simple. So I mean, you should be making an offer a week right now, at least. And so when you flip houses, you know, it's like you make 2 or 3 offers a day, but with big multifamilies, it's a process just to find the deals. So it's usually sending out an LOI a week or so. And so that's usually what we try to do, is get LOIs out there. But anyways, I don't think anybody else cares about all this. So you and I can talk offline. Unless anybody else cares.
I have had the best luck with direct mail with a handwritten letter and a picture of me and my family. So I just want to get those letters to these owners. What's the fastest, easiest way to get the accurate address to mail the letter to?
That's
For me, it's CoStar.
CoStar. Okay.
For me, I don't know if anyone else is using
How
something
many
else.
addresses? Rod, how many addresses is it? How many addresses is it? Yeah. Do you have a list already?
No, I don't have anything. I signed up for PropStream and I've been paying $100 a month on that, but it doesn't look like it does multifamily well.
It doesn't do multifamily,
Yeah. I'm gonna cancel it.
You know what? If you build a list, dude, like we'll do it. We'll just skip it for you. That's easy. It's only like, well, I don't know how much it is. Like a dollar. Like, is it $1 or something, or less than $1 an address?
I'll send you the invoice.
If I could get 100 addresses and commit to doing 100 letters before, like over the next 2-3 weeks, I would be stoked. How do I get
Dude, just gather the 100 and send it our way. We do by the thousands.
Well, yeah, but you should do more than 100 if you want to send out 100 letters. So do like a little over because some are gonna fall out, right? They're gonna filter
But
themselves
I
out.
mean, there's sometimes like some of them get, they're bad addresses or they're not, registered or something like that. But yeah,
So
Hey,
you
so Rob,
Char?
yeah, let's chat offline so we can do it. And then, yeah, you can run
Okay.
it through Corey's group too, which is
Yeah.
great, or Corey's system. Ronnie, just for the benefit of everybody else. So your letters, I'm going to assume your letters have worked really well on smaller properties, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So if I was the seller of a 100 unit and I had the choice of looking at somebody with $20 million of assets behind them or a mom and pop husband and wife team from Hawaii, which one do you think I'd choose?
If the guy had unlimited money, he would pick the family that's just starting out and knows they could really use it. And that's my play.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, it could work.
Um,
My experience tells me that most owners with 100 units or more are typically more of a business. They're in partnerships with some general partners. And so
Sure.
as a result, they're less emotional than they are financial. And so,
You could be right.
yeah, no, and I'm not trying to discourage you. I'd say do that as well. But just the results of the effort typically are a little bit less. So when we approach owners of larger multis, we do it much more business oriented with a very personal Hawaiian local twist.
I like
So
it. Okay.
people
Describe
love
that.
Hawaii, right? They love Hawaii. They love the fact that, we're from Hawaii. Everybody loves Hawaii. So it's a great conversation starter. But when it comes down to it right now, especially in this market, people want to do business with somebody who they know will close the deal. They don't want to waste time with somebody who's tire kicking, looking around, watch a YouTube and suddenly thinks they can do it, because right now, every seller of every property is getting approached multiple times from people who don't know what they're doing, right? And I mean, people are finding me on our LLCs and I'm super well protected on our LLCs, but somehow they still are able to figure out who's tied to which property, right? And I get calls all the time. It's like, but their script is so flat because it's the exact same script they're learning off of whatever mentor they paid money for or saw on YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, or the text messages are the exact same. Hey, I'm an investor. I live nearby. I'm looking for properties. And I just like, dude, come up with something unique because you're just like the other 4 guys who texted today, right? So,
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, we can definitely strategize it, not to discourage you 100%, because maybe you'll come across one mom and pop owner who's just like, I love Hawaii and I got married on that island and my wife happens to be also a pilot at Hawaiian. Like there could be potentially, right, a full-on connection.
Exactly.
But basically, as we get larger, you're going to find that the personal call that's very professional is going to stand out more than a blanket generic email or a letter.
Well, you never know. I mean, you got to split test it, right? I mean, you don't know.
100%. So do both.
Like,
But yeah, it's
I'm
and
just gonna show
75
up.
is still kind of mom and pop, right?
Yeah.
Like 50 to 100 is still a little mom and pop, I'd say. I think when you get to the multi hundreds, like, okay, now you're probably dealing with multiple partners, bureaucracy. But
yeah, that's just from my experience. So other people may have different experiences, but just in our several years of doing multifamilies, that's who and we do LOIs every week. So those are the people I'm talking to these days, are much more send us proof of funds with the LOI. And now they're even getting more savvy and they're like, send us your full financial statement before you even send the LOIs to see if we even want to waste time with the LOI. So that's just what we're seeing these days. And again, not to say that there isn't. I mean, the 160 unit we have here was a mom and pop guy. Like he was just, a senior citizen. But at the same time,
it probably matters the market too. Perhaps.
Kind of matters the market. I think
or
most of those guys are getting sold out now because they're all older. So they've gotten bought out. But I think Tom has a question.
Tom's here in the office.
Yeah, hey guys, I just wanted to take a second to point out I invited somebody on the call today that's kind of just getting started in the industry, but lots of experience in construction and whatnot. His name's Brian Kamahali'i. I think I said that right. He goes by Hawaiian Brian Solutions. He's in Pennsylvania, so I just kind of wanted to let you guys know that he joined the call today. I see him on there, and if he wants to unmute himself and kind of tell you guys a little about himself. But he likes the fact that we're all here on the island, and he's from the island, as well as his partner in Vegas is also from Hawaii. So Brian, you want to introduce yourself?
Nice. Thanks, Tom.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey, it's awesome, bro. Hearing the pigeon language. Oh, the thing brings joy to my heart. I promise to God, the thing, because I stay up in Pennsylvania. A little bit of backstory on me. I had a little bit of legal stuff I needed to take care of. My girlfriend at the time, now my wife, is from Pennsylvania. So I wanted to get my life right, and as you guys know, it's a little difficult, especially when you're messing up as a kid. So right now I've been up here since 2021, and one of my best friends is out in Vegas. And my Grammy died, and I was like, bro, I gotta get stuff moving. She was the sole provider in the house. I was working a regular job, and I've noticed, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but there isn't anybody out here that works like us. When you live in Hawaii and you're constantly fighting for work and constantly how you can get into jobs, and you bring it up here, it twists people's hair back. I'll tell you right now, they are just blown back by what I can do. And I wanted to touch on what Kekoa said, which was actually really good for me, because I'm one of those guys. My buddy sent me a YouTube. It's called Inside the Vault, and I've watched each and everything from it. And so that's all I'm doing. But to see how real you guys are and the investments behind what you guys are doing, it's awesome. So I guess the question that I have is, and I know that it's a money question, and just to let you guys know, I just did start up last year, November. Probably only made about 12 grand, but it's in the making. So I started a handyman business. I want to get into real estate because I can tell that that's where all the money is. And I'm trying to build a passive income. So if you had advice for somebody who is that person who's watching YouTube's thinking, okay, I've got this, because I swear to God, before today, that's what's in my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I've watched these things. I've done a little bit of research, and hearing you say that, it's like, okay, what am I missing? Right now, I'm building my credit so that I can actually take something out and I can start to get that moving. And so it is just the beginning stages of where I'm at. But what advice do you have for me moving in that direction?
Well, Brian, thanks for jumping on, man. And
Yeah,
good to
of
see
course.
you,
Thank you
boy,
guys for
even
having
though
me.
you're far away.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I guess what I could say is what changed my career is just embedding in the community, the local community. So the local real estate investing community out there, I'm sure there's one. And if there's not one, then why not create it, and create the meetup if there isn't one. I'm sure there is one though. But I would start meeting people, shaking hands, and keeping eyes in the room to see who what personality kind of fits you, and see if you can bring them value and bring as much value to the room as possible. Be the guy who brings the most value to the room, whether it's, even just an ear or consideration. And then you not only will you get handyman jobs out of it, right? But you're gonna be meeting other investors who are gonna see value in what you do and what you can offer. And then opportunities will arise. Like that's a guarantee. So
Awesome.
that's a
Awesome. Thank you.
tangible thing I would suggest to do. Kekoa or anybody else got anything for Brian?
I guess that was the best information. So another
Right
thing
on.
that and I know that I'm what I'm doing right now is I'm slowly building the team. My partner's out in Vegas. He's building our Vegas charter. And right now, I mean, of course, money is always going to be a thing, but something that came to mind was gentrification. I think that's the right word. So as I'm looking for properties, of course, I'm going to ask for what are the surrounding houses or surrounding properties, what are they selling for to get the comps and everything. And then what hit me was that a lot of these houses, of course, I'm looking for the ugliest house in the nicest neighborhood. That's going to bring a really good return on the market or the return of investment. But a lot of the places near me, and even in a 50-mile radius, they're shoot, forgive me for my not knowing the words off the top of my head, but a lot of them, the market in that area isn't really good. So I started talking to a few of the real estate agents, and I was like, okay, well, why don't we all get together, buy up a bunch of places, and you know, and not only buy them up, but help them to seek out funding, right? Because if they have the funding, now they can start to you know, renovations or selling their property. And if we were to bring up the surrounding properties and bring up that market value, and this is just me on an uneducated level, just thinking to myself, I mean, that would help a lot of us, and the not only the community also that is living there, because a lot of the times I'm finding that the people who are living there, who have been there for a long time, they don't see the need to renovate because they're happy where they're in, and two, nobody else is doing it because it's so much. So my question would be, what are your guys' thoughts behind that?
Well, I think for me, I feel like that's exactly what we do as real estate investors, is like we bring solutions to that problem, you know, where we can come in and fix these houses that have been sitting vacant and otherwise would have sat vacant, you know, because no one's gonna buy that unless it's a cash buyer, right? Like
Yeah.
no bank would lend on some of these assets, you know, until they're renovated. Now, if it's an entire neighborhood, then that's different, you know, like I mean, we
Yeah.
could band together all the investors and have to deal with everybody's you know, personal goals and incentives, and then it gets kind of messy, you know. But that's why, like,
Yeah.
usually if a neighborhood needs to be gentrified, right, because some do, to be honest, then you know, it's most likely going to be one of those big developers that can come in with one swoop, right?
Mhm.
But because it's hard to band together, you know, teams like us to move in the same direction. Like that's gotta,
Yeah.
that can be done. I believe that can be done, but you're kind of fighting an uphill battle with that one, I feel. But the
Okay.
problem, what you're describing is, in my opinion, exactly what real estate investors, especially those who are flipping houses, you know, in the residential realm, like that's what you're describing, the problem that we solve, I feel, is
Oh, okay.
we can
Cool.
come in and you know, help fix up neighborhoods kind of one house at a time, right? But
Mm-hmm.
is that what you're asking, or did I misunderstand?
Yeah, no, you hit that right on the mark, because and all it's been with me, because of the fact that even my partner, all he knows about business is things that we've watched on podcasts. We both just got to a point where we're like, hey, you know, nobody wants to pay us as much as we know that we're worth. So F it, let's just start our own and start this journey. And so what we're looking for is the correct network. What I really like that you were talking about is teaching, because nobody teaches that. And then it's so sketchy to believe, you know, we're in a digital age, and it's so sketchy to believe what is being advertised a lot of the time, you know. And so I really like the fact that you were going to do that. If you don't mind, I can reach out to you, or you reach out to me when you do figure out what you're going to do with that. I would just love to learn that. I've already got that book that the other brother was talking about, The Art of Passing the Buck. Is there anything, just knowing that you guys are, you know, you've already gone through the process, is there a book or something that you would suggest to me to start looking into, fill that void for the podcasts that I've been watching, that you know, or has worked for you, or somebody that you know, just to get me started on the right direction? And I ask because eventually I want to be someone who boom is on this with you guys. Like, okay, guys, what we're gonna do here? This is what I get for bringing to the table. But I want to start my journey correctly, so that one, I don't poof out, you know, the fire that's under me, and two,
Yeah.
I'm actually gaining the knowledge that I'm seeking.
Holy shit, bro. These are great questions. And like I
I'm
love
sorry.
the
I'm sorry.
passion.
I'm
No,
super
these are
interested. That's why.
yeah, yeah. No, these are great questions. And like I'm actually inspired by you. Um
Thank you. Thank
because
you.
it
I
brings that
appreciate it.
energy back, you know, like when you're
Yeah.
coming into something and you're you know, you got to ride that wave as long as hard as you can. I've been riding that
Mhm.
wave since I started, you know. But the books that Tammy is holding up, the Go Giver series, there's 4 of them.
Okay.
They're actually like a requirement in our company that everybody go through them, and we discuss and have book clubs over them, because I truly been through all four many times, and I haven't found one line or one principle that I don't align with, which is kind of
Okay.
rare. So, and it truly is the secret to life and business, I feel, and it sounds weird, right? It's contradictory because it's like, okay, what's the secret to life? Well, you can have everything you want. It's like Ziegler says, if you just whatever you want, yeah, you have to first give away first. If you want
Yeah.
power and influence,
Yeah.
you have to submit to it and give power and influence to other people, and genuine and watch the magic happen, so so I'd say the Go Giver series, there's four of
Awesome. I'm
them.
gonna go grab them.
And then
Guarantee I'm gonna
I
go grab
wouldn't
them.
shy away from the podcast either, because when I first started, this is a funny story because Brandon's a friend of ours now. But I used to listen to all the podcasts, Bigger Pockets, Tucker Merrihew had a great podcast, the Real Deal podcast, um, Sean Terry as well, Flip to Freedom. And I would just have their episodes playing in my ear all the time, like in traffic, washing dishes, mowing the lawn,
Mhm.
and everything at the gym. And I had to wonder, like, okay, why this is a waste of my time. I'm not even listening. I'll catch on every now and then, like, okay, this is what they're talking about. But for the most part, I'm not listening to it, right? But you don't realize that you're being programmed, because
Yes.
before I do it, all of a sudden I'm speaking the language, like I'm saying
Yeah.
the same words. I understand what people are saying to me, and I don't quite know exactly when that happened. All I can say is that it was probably because I immersed myself in the information, and I was
Awesome.
subconsciously taking it in. So I'd say keep doing that part too, but reading is important too, and especially like Jeff Bezos. Like, I watch these guys, and I pay attention because I want greatness too, and Jeff Bezos said that it's nowadays we're so programmed for short form content, like
Mhm.
6 seconds, 15 seconds,
Yeah.
and we've now trained our brains to be impatient, and
Yeah.
so it's important to do long format exercises like reading, which is one of the best, so that if anything, that's one of the benefits of reading. And then I feel you get to hear your own voice, and you get to process yourself, and you learn through that process in itself. And then lastly, of course, whatever the book is trying to tell you, hopefully it's good lessons. Then, so that's why reading is so powerful as well. So I'd say you doing both is important. And I'd keep
Awesome.
doing the podcasts, and then, be intentional about reading. I also learned too, just recently, because I'm reading The Art of War. And that book
Oh,
is like, it was recommended to me for years. And I finally picked it up this year. And I was telling the team, because we share, right? I want to share lessons and learn from them. And I picked up the book. I almost put it down because I didn't understand it at first. It's just it's written, it's about war. And Sun Tzu, the general and these are words from thousands of years ago that have been
mhm.
translated over time, so it's like,
Yeah.
it's a hard read, and it makes you, you can't be lazy. And that's what I was doing. I realized, I was like, how come this book is so popular? Like, is there something I'm not understanding here? And
Mhm.
it was because I was too lazy, so I was being a lazy thinker, lazy reader. And so I learned too that you can't just read to look and expect the words to tell you the answers. You got to
Yeah.
read with a philosophical mind. And like, if it, otherwise you're just reading to read, and you might be wasting time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's never a waste of time, because you're still training your brain back to long format to hold focus.
Mhm.
So it's still important. But if you want to get the most out of reading and all the lessons, like, yeah, you gotta can't be a lazy reader or a lazy thinker.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
Hopefully that
That was
helps.
a lot. So no, it really does. It really does.
Yeah.
And all of these things that you're telling me, and these are things that I'm gonna start to set into habit, because like I said, eventually what I want to do is I want to be on your guys' level, or towards what you guys are doing. Tom had gotten into it a little bit with me about how, because I'm just starting up, I'm gonna want a partner, but I want to be the best possible partner that I can be. So I did get the Go Giver series. You said that was actually a qualification for you guys. Is there anything else that you that is a qualification for you guys also? So I can get the reason why is because as I'm, fixing my credit and as I'm going about my journey up until I don't want to reach where, okay, I've got the money, I've got the experience, and then now I've got at that point, then I got to go and do all of this research. I would rather do the research leading up to that. So when I get there and I've got the money, I've got the experience, now I've also got the education. And so we're able to push forward from there. So that's why I ask all of these questions. And I know it's probably not accustomed that you guys hear these kinds of things, but it's definitely helping me. I hear you guys. I'm gonna look these things up. But is there anything else that would be a qualification for you guys that I can get into now that'll prepare me for being able to be a part of you guys?
Well, I'd say, oh, go ahead.
Brian, Corey told me
Yeah.
one time, he said, look for a mentor, look for a coach, and you may have to pay for this, but that's what he told me, and it held true.
Awesome.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Brian,
Yeah,
New Wealth
mentors are
Advisory
huge.
Club, it'll be a good platform for you to look into.
I'm sorry, one more time.
New Wealth Advisory Club. They have
Well-
coaches. Yeah, I dropped my number in the chat. Give me a call and I'll tell you a little bit more about it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I seen there was 2 or 3 people that shouted me out. I was trying to listen to them, but I am gonna go into the chat and grab these numbers as soon as I'm done writing this out. That was Wealth Advisory.
New Wealth
Advisors Club.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll put it in the chat.
awesome. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. All of these things that you guys are telling me, I'm definitely gonna take to heart. And I'm excited to be here. He was telling me it was every Friday. So now I'm gonna need to put in my calendar, guys. I'm off Friday for for that hour. Because right now it's
Bro.
it's you guys start at 3:00 my time. It's 4:00 now. So
Yo,
it gives me a little bit of time,
Brian, you're awesome, bro. I hope to see you every Friday, and we'll chip
Oh
away at
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Because yeah, you're gonna make it, bro. Keep the energy, and yeah.
Thank you
we'll
guys
come
very much. I
every Friday.
definitely thank you.
And we'll link up outside. I know Tom has your contact, so we'll keep
Awesome.
talking story.
Yes,
Right on.
guys. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
No, thanks for the questions, Brian. And I'm so sorry, guys. I got to jump on a call in 1 minute, but I love all you guys, and thank you guys for sharing every Friday with us. Hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next week.
Friday.
Hello,
Happy
everybody.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Bye, Tammy. Bye, guys.
Hello, Corey.